Welcome to Novelish Universe, where pages come alive and story touch the soul. Step into a realm of sorrow and love and fate, where every word whispers emotion and every moment leaves a mark. Let your imagination soar. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for regular updates on new novels. Today, we begin a powerful journey with the novel Risking My Life, Proposing to Miss Hazel. The story begins now. Chapter 9. Adults are always right. Just as the villagers had predicted, the effect of the poisonous mushroom didn't last long. Unfortunately, Mr. Felix stayed sane for only half a day. After that, for an entire week, he behaved in an even more insane way than usual. The villagers watched Mr. Felix carefully as if he were carrying a ticking bomb. "Hazel, why is your brother acting like that?" "I don't know. Is there anyone who can tell me?" "I don't smell alcohol. Is he not drunk and just acting like this sober?" "Yeah, that's what makes it even scarier." "For over a week now, my brother has been entering the monster area more than a dozen times a day, carrying buckets of purified water. The villagers were shocked at his madness, which didn't distinguish between day or night. Even though the purification water containers at the Golden General Store had long been full, his momentum didn't seem to weaken. Since the day before yesterday, he's been collecting empty bottles and putting purified water into them. Surprisingly, he didn't ask for my help even once, not for sterilizing the bottles or for portioning, so it was hard to stop him. At least, from my point of view, it's better than him wandering around drunk. It is a problem that bad stock is piling up at the store, but I've already given up, deciding I'll sell it all eventually. I stared blankly at Mr. Felix carrying a new bucket of purified water across the center of the village, muttering absent-mindedly. If he sells all that, could he buy a house in the center of town? Probably impossible. Maybe he could afford somewhere on the outskirts of the village. Sarah, who was next to me, nodded absent-mindedly. "Oh, a woman with a house is cool. You'd just need a man to do the housework." "Maybe." "Look, your future husband is passing by. No house, but seems like he'd be good at housework." Her finger landed on Baron. As if waiting for me to notice, he approached me the moment our eyes met. "Oh my!" Married woman Sarah, who loves other people's love stories the most in the world, had her eyes sparkling in a way that felt overwhelming. Slap, slap. Her fierce hands struck my back indiscriminately. My weak body fluttered like a paper doll. "Hazel, I'll go now. I'll clear the way for you, so do your best." "Liar! You're going to pretend to leave and watch from the alley on the other side." Anyway, I did leave. Better not to talk. Anyway, the women in our village are shameless by default. I let out a tired sigh watching Sarah leave and Baron come closer at the same time. This is the center of the village. There are too many eyes, not just Sarah's. If I laugh while talking to Baron, by tomorrow, people might even start spreading rumors about our wedding date. I forced a neutral expression and greeted Baron. "Hello, Baron." "Good afternoon, Miss Hazel." While I was desperately trying to avoid misunderstandings, Baron's face was too cheerful. Of course, his sharply handsome face makes a smile seem human, but the typical city person's awkward grin is hard to handle. "We keep running into each other these days. Have you gotten used to the village?" "Thanks to you, yes." "I don't think I've done much to help, though." "You've been a great help." So what is it?" Perhaps it's his suspicious way of speaking, or his eyes that are hard to read. Baron seems suspicious in many ways. Of course, I'm grateful he helped me that day, but separate from that, my instincts tell me something. "Well then, I'll be off. Take care of your tasks." I tried to end the polite conversation and leave quickly, but Baron stopped me. and with quite an interesting topic. Miss Hazel, do you happen to have a magical tool set at the general store? We have ones without magic power, old models from about 10 years ago. In other words, we have useless antiques. The items handled in our general store are divided into two types: new models with magic power charged, old models with all magic depleted. Honestly, if you're buying an old tool set, it's better to use a regular hammer lying around in the forge. Everyone knows this basic fact without me saying it, but Baron unaware. I'll buy it. Excuse me? How much is it? What is this man, a pushover? Usually it's said that rural people get tricked in the city, but this is my first time seeing a city man get tricked in the country, maybe because of his high nose. I couldn't bring myself to cheat this naive city man and honestly told him the truth. You shouldn't buy it. Even though it's cleaned with purified water, the regular hammer will perform better. I know. Excuse me? Then why? Oh, I have a magic charger. I brought a few with me when I evacuated. Excuse me? A magic charger? An item the royal family used to supply for the convenience of the empire's citizens, not essential in the country because magic-powered devices aren't widely used, but indispensable in cities with concentrated factories and industry, and for armies using magic weapons. It was even said that the emperor's power came from magic chargers. However, after the Civil War began, the royal family stopped supplying magic chargers, and now they're very expensive. Most existing chargers are divided between the military and nobility. It's well known that the first and fourth princes used magic chargers to gather noble support. And he's going to use such a precious charger on a tool set over 10 years old. Baron, what kind of person are you? If he evacuated all the way to a mountain village, he's probably not a noble. Was he a soldier then? Even soldiers shouldn't privately own magic chargers. Did he run away after committing some mistake? Seeing my suspicious look, Baron explained. At the start of the Civil War, my parents stockpiled magic chargers. They're very foresighted people. Oh, I've used them for 15 years and still have a few left, so charging a tool set is no big deal. If that's the case, but why do you need the tools all of a sudden? Looking around the village, there are many places that could easily be repaired with a magic tool set. There's no professional repairman here, right? Correct. I'm not particularly skilled either, but I can help. If I settle in the village, I need to contribute. My goodness, Baron really is a good person. I even felt sorry for thinking him suspicious before. His thoughts are completely upright. Of course, whether his actions match his thoughts remains to be seen. Felix is a good example of that. I'll give you a good price. Do you want to check the condition first? Sure. Can we go to the store right now? Of course. Wait, my brother is probably at the store right now. Is it okay if I bring Baron to the store while my brother's there? Putting worries about my brother aside, my feet faithfully led him to the store. A customer willing to buy stock for the first time in a while can't be missed. Even so, Felix won't act like a madman, probably. Baron, take your time following me. I'll go ahead and check the items first. I walked 3 steps ahead of him, worried about running into Felix, keeping my head scanning 270 degrees. But oblivious Baron closed the distance with his long strides. Step, step, step. Step, step, step. I tried walking faster, swinging my arms, but he caught up easily with his relaxed pace. He seemed so amused that he even chuckled, making his throat vibrate. What? Why are you laughing? Chapter 10. Fortunately, my brother wasn't in the shop. It seemed he had gone to the monster territory to fetch holy water. I carefully passed the row of sake bottles filled with holy water and reached the inner display stand. The magical tool set was placed at the very bottom of the stand, where people's eyes wouldn't notice. Here it is. It's a set of 12, from hammers to drills. You can take them out and check them comfortably. Even though I opened the tool set and handed it over, Baron didn't even look at the tools and immediately replied, "The condition of the items is good. I'll buy them." "Are you sure you don't want to test their performance?" Baron cheerfully nodded. "The villagers say that Miss Hazel never lies, so whatever she says, you can trust and leave it to her." "Ah, I'm not that honest. Everyone is praising me too much." A flush rose to my cheeks at the sudden compliment. I knew I was well liked in the village, but I didn't expect outsiders to speak so highly of me. I wondered what they said about my brother. Feeling concerned, I subtly asked Baron, "By any chance, did the villagers say anything about my brother?" "May I be honest?" "Yes, completely honest." "They said to avoid him because if you get too close, he might bite." I couldn't help but nod in agreement at the accurate description. Normally, my brother is like a noisy chihuahua with no real aggression, but when it comes to eligible men of marriageable age, he's like a rabid Doberman. It doesn't matter if a man has no interest in me or already has a partner, there are no exceptions. Even Axel, with a proper fiancé and high status, wasn't spared. I could already guess how he'd act toward Baron. Well, it seems Baron might be a Doberman too, so my brother might not easily give in. Still, because I hate bloody situations, I quietly warned Baron. "The villagers are right. If you see my brother, it's best to stay as far away as possible. He has the same gray hair and yellow eyes as me, so you should be able to tell us apart. You'll probably encounter him at least once, but I apologize in advance." Baron, however, didn't look scared at all. With a calm smile, he replied, "I'd like to get to know your brother, Miss Hazel." "It's impossible," I said firmly, but Baron didn't seem to give up. As expected, this person is not normal. His gaze, which had been fixed on me, shifted towards the broken window. Felix had roughly blocked the hole with a wooden board, making it even more noticeable. I was about to tell Baron to not worry about him when I heard someone approaching along the alley. "Oh no, that might be my brother. Just give him 5 silver coins for the items and leave quickly." Baron seemed to only half hear me and slowly counted the silver coins. Soon, 10 silver coins fell into the cash drawer, exactly twice the amount I asked for. Before I could say anything, he spoke first. "I was taught to pay full price for goods from one's parents." 5 silver coins is far too cheap. Normally, I wouldn't have taken all that money, but there was no time to argue now, and who could argue when he invoked his parents? I quietly took the money and offered a formal compliment. "You have truly admirable parents." Baron smiled silently. I thought he would leave quickly, but he stood there like a stone, showing no intention of going. Eventually, "Hazel, is my brother here?" The bell rang, and a large man entered the shop, as big as Baron. Sure enough, Felix's eyes rolled in fury as soon as he spotted Baron. I urgently reached toward my brother and shouted, "Brother, it's a customer. He just bought some stock." But the magic word customer didn't work on the rabid dog that was my brother. He set down the buckets of holy water in his hands and stumped towards the inner part of the shop. The shop was so small that after just 3 steps, he was right in front of Baron. The moment their gazes met in midair, a jolt ran through the room, and the air shifted. I swallowed hard and clenched my fists. Silence stretched, tense and tight. So strange. Normally, Felix would have launched the first attack by now, but today he lingered. I quietly crept behind my brother and hugged his waist tightly. "Baron, please leave quickly." Only then did Baron move his heavy steps and politely bow. "It was a pleasure to meet you, Felix. I hope to see you again, Miss Hazel." Even in such a tense situation, he maintained his manners, very city-like. My brother stared blankly at Baron's retreating back, moving his lips without sound. Baron? His name is Baron? Yes, he's the nephew of Uncle Franz from the blacksmith shop. Nephew? No, that's not it. Why is he here? Do you know him? My brother released my hand and slowly turned, his fearful dog-like eyes trembling. Hazel, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay. Don't make eye contact with that black-haired man. Don't speak a word to him. His tone was different than usual, desperate and earnest. Why? You know the assassin Nocturne, right? The most famous assassin in the Empire whose identity no one can know. I read about him in the newspapers, the one who leaves black feathers at his targets. That assassin is that guy. Huh? Did I hear that wrong? Excuse me, Felix? How do you know the identity of a mysterious assassin? I raised my hand to touch my brother's forehead. The poisonous mushroom effect must have worn off, and he didn't have a fever, so why was he talking nonsense? Brother, you can't say things like that to anyone. You don't believe me at all, do you? Of course not. Why would the Empire's most famous assassin be in our village? I don't understand it either. It's nonsense, so it's not understandable. You can't accuse innocent people of assassins. Baron is probably a normal person. Does that face look normal to you? I sighed. Of course, my brother had clearly judged Baron's extraordinary appearance and falsely accused him. Brother, we were called children of demons, and you shouldn't do the same. No matter how fierce your red eyes are, no matter how terrifying your look is that could belong in the underworld, you can't judge someone by appearance. All right, Hazel, never change that thought in the future. Huh? Remember, I said don't even make eye contact with that guy. In such a small village, how is that even possible? But I had no choice but to nod obediently out of exhaustion from my brother's warnings. After Baron left, my brother never went back to the monster territory. He stuck to me all day, dividing the holy water into smaller bottles, and it was all concentrated, not diluted. Brother, when are you planning to sell all this? I finally asked, unable to hold back. Tomorrow. I squeezed my eyes shut. At this rate, I might as well let him drink alcohol instead. The next day, all the holy water my brother had carried for a week was sold out. The end. Thank you for wandering through today's tale in the novelish universe. If the story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join our growing realm of dreamers. Until we meet again, keep your heart open and your mind enchanted.